damage pattern looks like, or basically where someone of Mr. O'Keefe's height's arm would contact the rear tail light.
And also the family of the perpetrator. Going forward, we Mogans are choosing to put our energy and focus into honoring Maddie's too short life.
Like, you can't remember my name. I don't remember.
What is no big deal to us is a big deal to these litigants, right?
Hello everyone, welcome back to Source and Order. I go by the name of Hines, your friendly neighborhood ketchup man, and this is Ketchup Court, where we go through cases on here, do deep dives, and many more on this channel. So without further, a lot, really and truly, when I looked at this case and I looked at the face of it, and even coming through from the first day, like, oh, like I did not expect anything of what I've gone to here. We are now on near the end of week 5 anyway, to week 6 now. And I did not expect a lot of the bombshells to be coming out as thick and fast the way that they are. I said on the last episode, on episode 8, that it seems like the prosecution are going to ramp up the gear now and go straight into proving how Monica is involved. And I was right, but I at this rate, this way, I did not see that coming. So we shall be going through a lot of what's been going on week 6, which would be days 20 to 22. But we're also touching on days 19. So, like, oh gosh, I cannot wait, because if I told you that I am prepared, or I was in any way prepared for anything that has been come, I'll be lying. I'll be the biggest liar on this planet, because nothing could have prepared me for all I'm seeing. I'm not exaggerating in any way. I am really shocked, like, not shocked, but just flabbergasted. I don't want to waste a lot of time. I just want to go into it. Let's just do a quick recap of all that has been happening on episode 8. So before I do go into that recap, shout out to everyone that are here. I appreciate you. Shout out to Random Girl. I appreciate you being here, as well as SD Soft Girl. Yes, I was 2 minutes late. I do apologize for that. Apologies for the tardy timings. But yeah, so, and also shout out to the trial channel. Gosh, I have loved your coverage of this trial. Like, I can imagine what you were going through watching it live, because I noticed when I was going through Gessica Sementilli's testimony, I noticed your text on the screen, which said that if you don't want to watch the direct, you need to go straight to the cross. So I was thinking, oh, what you were going through, like, watching all this. So I am equally looking forward to hearing what each and every one of you basically have to say as I go through this one. I want to hear your opinions as well. So anyway, a quick recap of everything on week 5, or the start of week 5, which was days 16 to 18. We stopped on Mitzi Roberts, but literally we went through all of the testimonies. There was a lot of witnesses on episode 8. I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but I am going to put them in the proper order, because I did rearrange them a little bit. I am doing that a little bit again today, just so that we can get the narrative in and get all the technical stuff on one side. But mainly, this was how it was. Ernie was the first, well, not really the first witness, but in terms of what we need to go through, Ernie was the first one, and he was the one that was testifying to knowing that Monica was having financial troubles, and she was contacting them. Very important because this was around the same time if we cast our mind back into the first episodes that we've been covering. This was the same time that she was calling Detective Parshall, asking for the insurance documents, all those things, like how that's going. She was also calling Weller employees. We got to hear from that, I believe, on week 3. Then we also heard that she was selling her Porsche, and she sold it for under 15K value. So the Porsche, and that is going to be very important for so many reasons. I'm going to expand on that a bit later because so many questions come into my head when I was looking over my notes again, and then I realized that Ernie made that state, like, I noted it down because the value was a bit low, but I was like, that's a bit expected. But now that I'm hearing testimony about it, I'm like, oh wow, that's suspicious. But then we also got to hear from Alicia Truesdale, who gave testimony about Monica's seat. Well, not Monica's seat, but attending the funeral, and then some individual was sitting in Monica's seat. We went through that, how Monica was basically saying, I will reserve this seat for you. And for some reason, this guy was sitting on his seat. I thought it was petty from the prosecution. Like, they didn't really have to go that far. Like, they went far, but they shouldn't have gone that far. But they showed how that same promise that Monica was putting up and posturing up on the Instagram, that no, Baker was actually sitting in Fabio's seat, which was quite an interesting thing to bring out through Alicia's Truesdale, who was basically just there to just give Monica help with the insurance. We also got to hear from Salvatore Polera. Very important testimony from him that came from the cross-examination, because he testified to Monica wanting to go to Myrtle Beach to honor Fabio's memory, and that is going to be very important as this episode goes on. So his testimony was good for that. Melanie Garibay also testified to booking flights to Las Vegas on the 15th of April. And also, yes, on this same 15th, the next witness that I'm going to bring up later on, Sheila, yes, she was with them, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Then those were all the testimonies that had everything to do with the Monica's behaviors around the time of Fabio's death. That was in that right order. So that's how the prosecution ordered it. That was the substance of their testimonies. Those were the behaviors. So the next part was about the relationship with Monica and Baker, which was Ron Ray. He testified to Monica behaving like a schoolgirl when they were meeting up. I believe he was testifying about meeting up sometime in March 2016, if I'm not mistaken. And Monica was grabbing Baker's private parts and doing all those things. He testifies to also Monica wanting to sell the house that she owned, and because his wife was a realtor. Then we got to hear testimony about Facebook messages that they were sending. To be quite fair, we have already known about these Facebook messages, but it was good to hear from him because we heard about it. We saw the messages anyway from Curtis Davis. Moving on. So he testified to both Monica and him, and both Baker and Monica planning to go to Las Vegas in sometime the next year, because this was in December 2016. Then Cesar Aviles, who was a Ford, I don't know the name of the dealership, but he worked for a dealership where Monica went in to trade Fabio's vehicle, Fabio's Ford, into the dealership and buy a new car. His testimony was so fatal. It fatally destroyed Monica's case for so many reasons, because he testified that she came in to put the fort back because the husband was killed in the fort. From the first part, and this is why I rate these prosecutors. You know me, I always look at the defense more than the prosecution, but when they are this good, like already as I'm ordering, we can see a theme immediately. When they are this good, bringing that information up now is literally insane. I was in the last episode, it was a bombshell, but it's still a bombshell because of what's coming in this episode. I'm not exaggerating. The testimony about Fabio being killed in the vehicle, so she had a trace it in, is probably the most damaging. Like I can't express how damaging that is for any defender, defendant. For any defendant. Well, actually, yeah, the defender works too because of the attorney. How do you clean that up? How on earth is she coming in to say that the husband was killed in the car that she's driving? Of course, she's now trying to get the discount, but this is... I know there's more to come, because knowing this prosecution, they are definitely going to hone in on that. I know there's more to come, so I definitely made a note of it. But Cesar Aviles, that was probably the most damaging part of his testimony. Then Gail just came, Sheila Shatiel was in the middle of that, and she basically gave testimony about, and I personally thought that Sheila was probably a swinger, a swinger that was with them, because she knew about Baker's relationship with Monica. She also knew that Monica was married. So she just basically gave testimony to that. And on top of that, she also testified in regards to going out on dates with them all the way back in March 2016. She also, like I said earlier, she went onto the Vegas trip in 2017 with both Baker and Monica. And she also was the one to basically tell Monica, my condolences, around the time of 5th of February 2016. The most interesting part about her testimony was when she testified that Rob Baker had voluntarily told her that, let me just make sure I get this right, that Fabio died because it was a robbery that's gone wrong. At the time, I did not think much about this, because that's all we've been hearing: robbery. So I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, you can expect that. But when Mitzi Roberts comes up and delivered the rest of her testimony, because I didn't get into her testimony last week, Jesus Christ. That's all I'm saying, because we are gonna get into all of it today. But that was Sheila. She also went on the vacation with Monica to Las Vegas, and then we got to hear from Roger Brown, who testified, who testifies to being introduced to Monica by Baker, and Baker had called her Madonna when he introduced her to him. So we know the significance of Madonna. It goes all the way back to episode 7, where we went in depth in regards to Detective Badrama and Chris Gable. Okay, so and the timeline dropped, and hell my heavens, it was a bloodbath. I think I wondered why Trial Channel calls her the final boss of detectives. I understand. I get it. I cannot argue with that. She is as, I don't know what she is. Not she's Galactus. I can't even call her Thanos. She's Galactus. She's up there. But like, yeah, but she's very good. Random Girl, thank you so much. Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for Monica. Yeah. You know what? Let's just get on with it. Let's just get on with it. That's all the recap. We are now gonna go into we're now gonna go into episode 9 and get into the final details of this case. Let's go.
We get the money. Who was he talking about?
Him and the defendant. And he mentioned we'll go to Mexico or somewhere and we'll just live out the rest of our days there.
Did he specifically state insurance money?
No, I can't. I shouldn't even be talking to you right now. That's why we need to do the thing that we need to do, so.
Okay, well, here's the other part of that. We can't do a calling here.
I love her expressions. I love Mitzi's expressions all through this episode, and I'm gonna go through all of that. She is the main witness I'm gonna focus on, as well as Christopher Austin. Those two are the main witnesses I'm going to focus on today. But before we get there, let's set the foundation for that, build it up to their testimony. So I just want, I hope Random Girl pointed out at Thanksgiving, I hope you all, had a good Thanksgiving. And I just want to say thank you so much, everyone that are communicating in the chat. If you're enjoying the stream so far, hit that like button. It will really help us out with the YouTube algorithm to let everyone know that we exist. Try Channel says, I did that because Jessica's testimony was so spread out. I agree. I was saying that if they had already seen the direct testimony, to skip ahead. I do agree. There was a lot of information that Jessica was providing in her testimony, and it's just I feel bad. But anyway, let me not go into it now, because I will go into it. Let me just go through all of the technical witnesses, because there was only 3 of them. I'm not gonna spend too much time on them because I want to focus on Jessica, and I also want to after Jessica we're gonna go to Mitzi, and then after Mitzi we're gonna go to Christopher Austin. So that's the plan for the day. So the 3 witnesses that basically set the scene was Dontae. Was Dontae. Now it began with Mitzi Roberts in trial. So it actually began with Mitzi Roberts, and then she was removed. The technical witnesses came on. Gessica Sementilli was sandwiched in between the technical witnesses, and then Mitzi went back up, and then it was Christopher Austin. So that's how they ordered it in trial. So now, Dontae Odey, who was the officer at LAPD County, testified to recovering a toothpaste from Baker on the 28th of June 2018. Immediately, as I was watching this, I thought, what the hell? What has a toothpaste got to do with this? Everyone uses toothpaste. Like, we all brush our teeth with toothpaste already. Like, why would you get this? That was the only testimony. So I was like, okay, cool. The next witness is gonna give us a bit more information. Maybe it's nothing. I knew something more was gonna come. Double entendre when they come, but something more was gonna come from this. I just never thought it was going to be this level. And when I say this level, Leslie Thompson, who was a bioanalyst, she came on and testifies in regards to analyzing the toothpaste, and she established that the toothpaste weighed more than the 17 grams that was listed on the package. It was very interesting for so many reasons, because I cannot. Okay, let me try and get the testimony up, because I did not want to actually play the technical witnesses, but it's hit me how that maybe I should actually provide a bit of context for this one. I won't spend long on it. I just want to testify to what exactly that she actually said was contained in the toothpaste. Let's go ahead and listen to the sorry, wrong button. Let's go ahead and listen to the testimony real quick.
Weigh it.
And what did that indicate?
This toothpaste tube weighed about 20.5 grams. It's so these are millimeter ticks, so it's really the size of a travel toothpaste tube. And that's sort of significant because, on the packaging,
Oh, that's the wrong time. So I'm going to go a bit more further up. I won't spend any more time on this because I want to get straight to Gessica after this as well.
Is that sufficient, Mr. Booker?
Yeah.
Okay. Proceed.
Thank you. What did you do with the contents of that toothpaste tube?
I performed some biological testing on that. So I began by taking some of the liquid and I used that to moisten a swab, which is basically a sterile Q-tip. And then I tested that Q-tip. I performed a presumptive test for seminal fluid. It's basically a chemical color change test. So you add certain chemicals, and if seminal fluid may be present, they will turn a purple color. So I performed that test on the swab with the liquid, and it did in fact turn purple. So that indicated to me that I needed to do more testing because there are some other substances that will give you a positive chemical color change test. So the idea is that if you get a negative, you know that the substance you're testing for is not present, and you can move on to something else. But if you get a positive, now that gives you the indicator to test more definitively for the substance you're looking for.
Let me ask you a question. This color change test, we've heard testimony in this case regarding blood evidence. Is it a similar chemical test to one that would be utilized by experts such as yourself to test for blood? A similar type color change test?
Yes, the exact chemistry is slightly different, but the idea is the same, is that when certain components in the fluid we want to find are present, they will create a visual change in that chemical, and that will indicate that that fluid could potentially be present in whatever the stain it is that you're testing.
So once you got that presumptive positive result for semen, what did you do at that point to confirm?
That led me to create a microscope slide from some of that liquid, stain it. So I added some of that liquid to a glass slide. I allowed it to dry. I added certain stains that would color the different cell types, and then I visually looked. So you.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. I did miss out a little bit. Okay.
It was 228 of the tube.
Okay.
Stated that the item was passed to the defendant. There was no evidence that the item was passed to the defendant.
All right. Okay. I wrote down the wrong timestamp, so I do apologize for that. But essentially, what she testified to was that she conducted the test into the tube, and it contained Baker's semen profile in it. It contained Baker's semen in it. This is I did not expect to see Daisy Link's kind of tactics being used here, you know, where you're putting your semen or your cheese, you know, what happened in that case. I did not expect that in my wildest dreams to be part of this case, but here we are. I kind of butchered the delivery of that, but that was the biggest shock to have learned, because of course now we're getting the idea that there was more to this. Like, it just goes against with the defensive theory that you know, that there has to be something between. But anyway, we are gonna go much more into the significance of this test that was done a bit later. But that was the testimony. Then we got Dr. Odey, Ukpo. He is actually from Nigeria, so I could definitely tell by the name. But he was a chief medical examiner, and he testified to there being 7 sharp force incised wounds and 2 additional superficial wounds on Fabio Sementilli, and he testified that there was wounds on the right side of his neck. This was 3 inches deep, so you can imagine how deep that stab was behind the ear. There's another case that just reminded me about the 3 inches deep, Courtney Clenny. I'm going to be covering that case. It's similar to this. It's like it's similar to the depth there. So if if it's that deep, then what she's saying in that case is rape. Anyway. Before I get sidetracked, that was the right side of the neck, as well as a stab wound to the left chest. Left, yeah, that's my left. Piercing the heart. That was 4 inches deep, and he also said that there was several sharp force injuries. So you get the idea that there was that, at least from his testimony, that the 2 superficial wounds must have been done by one individual, while the other stab wounds was probably done by another individual that was close to him. Like, there's no order established, but I'm guessing based on what's coming up in testimony that these injuries are going to make a bit more sense. But anyway, let's move on right now to Gessica Sementilli, who gave a in my opinion, a really, I wouldn't say emotional, but really surprising testimony in my eyes anyway, because I didn't expect her to be as calm as she was, knowing that her mom is facing prison. But she was surprisingly calm. Let's just go straight into her testimony, where she's going to testify about the cameras in the house. I'm going to go straight to that testimony right now, where she testified about where the cameras are in the house, etc. She does look a lot like her mother, but yeah. Anyway, I think she's like 24 now. Anyway, let me move on. Let's go into her testimony.
Where the Porsche's parked, you had the DVR boxes there on top of that, kind of a white refrigerator or cabinet or something.
And the monitor was on top of that.
When you knew that the monitor was on top of that?
Yes, that's where we went to go look for the cameras. It was never inside the kitchen that I remember. It was always inside the garage, the monitor.
Okay. I'm going to show you a photo in a minute. I'm talking about in your kitchen, there's a counter, and then there's a big monitor. You don't remember that being in your kitchen?
No, I remember like maybe at one point it was, but I remember that most of the time it was in the garage.
Okay. Was that after, are you remembering that after the murder happened, it was put in the garage?
No, because it was gone at that point. So no, it was before. At some point it was in the garage, maybe at some point it was inside the kitchen, but...
Okay. Do you recall being able to view your cameras when you're in your house or your garage, wherever you believe it to be? You could view the camera footage from the outside around the house?
Yes.
Okay. So then the day of this, as far as your DVR system, did you have access to it on your phone?
No.
Did your, do you know that you could access it from a phone?
Yes.
Did your mom have access to it on your phone, on her phone?
Both mom and dad.
And how did you know that?
Because when they came to set it up sometime in 2016, I was there, so I heard them talking about the app that it was connected to.
God. They didn't even mention her being there as well. They I can't remember that testimony, but this of course goes back to Sean Khan's testimony, and she knows exactly about the DVR system. It connects in so many ways, in especially with the sense that of course we know already about Sementilli, sorry about that, Baker, Monica, really, sorry, sending Baker through an email that was teased ages ago, back with, I forgot his name, but the underrated Thompson, data analyst. Anyway, I believe it's Josh Thompson or something, Jack Thompson, I can't remember, but he was the first data analyst on, and he testified about Diane Arbol being an email that was being used. We got to learn from Curtis Davis that this was an email that was being used by Baker to receive the IP address regarding to this DVR system. So she was already there to see it all set up, and she knows exactly about this DVR system. She never had access, so that removes that completely. It was only her dad and her mom that had access. So the only, thank you so much, Trial Channel, I know I can rely on you. Jake Gibson, that's the name, Jake Gibson. So thank you so much. Yeah, so he was the one that brought, I noted it down, but again, I just didn't think it would go anywhere. I just thought, but every time I look through my notes and leading up to this point, I am just in awe by how much Easter eggs has been left, and now they're just hatching like wildfire. Or I don't know how you say it. Like spring chicken. I don't know. I don't know how to finish off that phrase. But she said that the garage. She said that the DVR was in the garage, which goes back to what we've been hearing since day one from Ryan Werner. Now, the next part of our testimony is going to be about Rob Baker. Her seeing Rob Baker for the first time in the house, which was back all the way in 2016, sometime in March, sometime in maybe. I think it was June. Anyway, I'll correct it really soon. This is the testimony.
Back in 2016, where you saw Rob in your house, right?
Yes.
How many times before the murder had you seen Rob in your house?
That was the only time before that I saw him in the house.
Okay. And can you tell us well, first of all, was there a time when you found him in your mom's bedroom in her bed?
Yes.
What time frame are we talking about, if you remember?
I don't remember the time frame, but I think I was already graduated from high school. I was going to class or I was going to work. So that around that time.
2016?
Yes.
Okay. So in 2016 then, one day, can you explain what you remember happening, how you found him?
Yes, I went to my mother's bathroom to take mascara or something because I like to do my mascara in her bathroom. And I didn't notice anything, but when I came out, I noticed Rob in her bed.
And what time was that?
It was in the morning, so I don't know, 10, 11 a.m., maybe earlier.
Did you tell the police about 7 a.m.?
Maybe. Sure, if I was working, then that's 7 a.m.
Okay. Not trying to trick you, I just want to...
No, I just don't remember.
Okay. 7 a.m. you went into your mom's bedroom, right?
Yes.
And I say that because at the time, did your dad sleep in the other room?
Yes.
All right. So you went into your mom's bedroom, and what did you see?
I went to the bathroom first, and then when I left the bathroom, I saw Rob in the bed.
And you recognized him?
Yes.
How did you know what he looked like?
Because I went to LA Fitness, and I knew that he was the racquetball coach, whatever, there.
Had you seen your mom playing racquetball with him before that?
Sure, yes, amongst other people, though, too.
Who else?
Elise, Faye, but there was a whole tournament. There's a whole league there, so a bunch of people.
All right. So you recognized him as being in from the gym. And what did you do?
I didn't say anything. I just ran out of the room and I called my mom.
Okay, and what did you say to your mom?
I asked, why is Rob in the bed?
And what did she tell you?
She told me that he doesn't drink often. They had a party last night. Her friend Sheila, I think, they all came over, and he doesn't drink often. He got drunk, and so he slept it off.
Well, did she tell you that he and Sheila spent the night?
Yes.
Did you see Sheila there?
No.
Did you see Sheila there the night before?
I wasn't there the night before.
Okay. So you didn't see her, you don't know?
Correct.
All right, so this is what your mom told you?
Yes.
But that morning you didn't see Sheila, you just saw Rob?
Yes.
All right. And how did you know Sheila? From the gym?
Yes.
All right. What happened then?
My mom told me, and I had no other reason to believe otherwise, so I believed her.
All right. Did you say anything to Rob?
No.
Did he say anything to you?
No.
And did you just leave the room then?
Yes.
Did you ever see him leave?
No, I was leaving the house, so I didn't see him.
So when you left, was he, to your knowledge, alone in the house?
Yes.
So the daughter is testifying for the state, but she does say on recross exam that she believes that the mother is not guilty. She does actually say that she doesn't believe that she did this. But I mean, it's not like there was no damage at all for the state by bringing her on, even though she doesn't even think that the mom did this. It was actually just a matter of fact witness. Anyway, let's continue on with our testimony.
And your mom was dropping off your sister at school?
Yes.
So when you left then,
SD Subgirl, let me know, is this the first time that you're also watching this? If this is your first time, this is my first time too. I am going through this, like, learning every week, even though I'm kind of like cutting it up and like breaking it down what I've seen in the week. This is literally new to me, so I don't know what's coming after this.
Did she tell you not to tell your dad?
No.
Now, you said you weren't home the night before.
No, yeah.
But didn't you tell the police in February of 21st of 2017 that you heard your mom come home at about 2:30 in the morning?
At that point, I was home, but I wasn't like home for their party or whatever.
Okay. So let's back up then. That night, the night before you found Rob in your mom's bed, you were home that night earlier, or you were home at some point that night?
Yes.
Did you ever see any of your mom's friends come over that night?
No, I was in my room.
That's all I wanted from her testimony. She never saw the friends come out. There was no way to basically confirm or deny whether Sheila was there or not. But she just said that that's what the mom said. Now, that's why I also thought, like, this confirms why I thought, or at least this confirms my theory, that Sheila could be a swinger as well in this whole thing if last week wasn't confirmatory enough. Anyway, moving on, she also went on to testify that she did not know about Monica having an affair until this case had basically, until after the arrest. That's when she found out that Monica was having an affair, similar to what Ernest Valeriano, Ernie, also known as, was basically saying when he was testifying last week on cross-examination. So moving on from that, I want to go into the next testimony that she gave, and this was in regards to, well, it was on cross-examination. It's the, I don't know, I see her face now, but like, let's just, we will see if she's pulling this face as the trial goes on.
Honor, may that be marked? Has that been marked already?
Yeah, or if this is dancing in the kitchen, and I'm not sure if this is also December 6th or 3rd, or if this is in October.
Of 2016.
16.
May we play it?
Thank you.
Gessica, was this commonplace among your dad and mom in the years leading up to his murder?
Yes.
And is this what you meant when you characterized it as a marriage you thought was perfect?
Yes.
You eventually obviously learned it was not.
Correct.
On your mother's side.
Yes.
And we'll get to that. But first I want to go to this last interview of yours.
That's all I wanted from that. I don't think there's I don't think there is anything much that came from that. But I just wanted to show, because that I saw what the defense were going for, but based on what's coming up, it probably you're gonna see how it just contributed to their own downfall, because a lot of what's going to be testified to, I know that they have already preempted the cheating, but in regards to her being involved with the murder, that is something that they, in my opinion, are having a very hard time, and I'm just going to get straight into it after this testimony.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Jessica, was there a time when a decision had to be made whether Fabio was going to be cremated or not?
Yes.
Do you recall how that decision was made?
Yes.
Can you tell us?
Yes, it was a conversation between myself, my mother, my sister, and my brother. Luigi, correct.
And was that because he was so alone in the house, or because that you were the ones who eventually ran?
I don't believe there was an issue that arose. It was just, talking to each other and seeing what we agreed on, if we wanted him buried or cremated, and we decided on cremation.
And was there a specific reason you recall?
Yes, because my dad always would mention, when I'm gone one day, I don't want to rot in the ground. When I'm gone one day, I don't want to be buried with my hands across my chest. And he would say these in passing.
So is your belief speaking of yourself, that he preferred to be made rather than very, without being.
Objection,
Yes.
So I went to that because I wanted to call back to Luigi's testimony, and I am already, I don't know whether it's probably not a massive thing that's gonna come back later on, but it's just came to me as I was watching that. It's like maybe there is already a tension between the brother's side, because he's well, I mean, from what I understand, they're like when they had a divorce, when the dad had a divorce and married Monica, maybe there were some tensions there that was just unresolved. Maybe that was why they were bringing that up in Luigi's cross-examination. I have no idea, because from what she is testifying to kind of pales in comparison to what Luigi was testifying to in regards to the fact that he didn't think that they wanted Fabio to be cremated. But at the same time, I look at what she knows as a young child, because she didn't really, like, there was some things that Luigi was testifying to in regards to the mother's infidelity that she just was oblivious to. I think there was a car incident where Luigi picked it up and she didn't. So maybe she just remembers that memory of him. I don't know, but I thought I just highlight that because it goes back to Luigi. Now, let's go into Detective Roberts, and now this one, she is the first key witness, like I mentioned, and the one thing that I want to highlight, let me just lower down a little bit. Yeah, I went a bit too far ahead. The one thing that I want to highlight in regards to her testimony was let's go through. It was everything to do with the timeline from last week. So when we went through the timeline that she gave, we stopped at 12 o'clock. So we didn't cover everything from 1 until 3. Baker, I already noted last week that this is an abnormal communication, and it seems to be when the defense theory was born in regards to Monica trying to get rid of Baker. But it just, I don't know, with this amount of communications, it requires a lot of context. So especially when we reach this point here where Monica messages Fabio, did it get fixed? And then she calls Fabio, etc., all those things. I believe that is where everything changes, and there's a lot more context to these messages, which is going to be provided by us, by Christopher Austin later on. But without further, I want to go into all of the testimony that was given by Monica in regards to the time frame of 3 o'clock when Baker had reached Target, I believe. That's where he parked the vehicle. I believe it was a Nissan Verda or something like that. Let's just go into the testimony right now.
Yes.
Okay. What do we see here?
We see Robert Baker return to that Versa, get in, pull out, and drive to the very far back of the lot, like a secluded area of the lot,
Can you hear
and park the vehicle.
Let me see if I can hear that.
And you went out to that location, correct?
I did.
And you went and stood in that actual area where he parked, correct?
I did.
And that area back there, is that an area that is appears to be reserved or used for trash dumpsters and other things?
Yes.
And is this the area as depicted here on the screen that we see right this moment that you went out and observed?
Correct.
Now, just to the
So that's
left of that area where he's parked,
Yes,
Is this a photograph of that area?
it is.
All right, so that's important for later on, which we are going to go into. She testified. It's important for later on because I don't want to give away too much, but it's really important because of the getaway from the after the murder was committed. But she also testified in regards to the surveillance cameras around that area to of course pick all of this up. And now we're gonna go into so we know that at this time, during this time, so this was 323, we know that based on all of the communications that they were talking, so 323 here, this was Monica communicating with Baker, and it says here Baker returns to the Nissan Verna and parks at the reparks anyway at a parking lot. So all of these messages between Monica and Baker, it does seem absurd for me because, like I said in the last stream, you would think that they would act with a bit more tact and they would pretty much try to get this all done and not communicate this much. But that's where a lot of the gray areas lie. Or like, what are they communicating with in this period? And it seems to me that is just trying to relay as much information as possible to make sure that this job goes as successfully as possible. Before, I thought that this was likely just a way that they just haven't you just can't contain this. This is just, why do you need that many communications anyway? SD Soft Girl gifted one Catch a Cop membership. Thank you so much for gifting memberships. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, SD Soft Girl. 3 o'clock Monty was the one that received it. I hope that you do enjoy your memberships. I am going to be releasing a lot more of the interviews. I haven't had time to release it of late, but it will be the full interviews of the interviews that I done for the Dead Be Heard. I'm doing a dive into Karen Reed soon, so I will be releasing any interviews that I do for that Karen Reed dive for the members, the full interviews anyway. But everyone always gets, the public always gets highlights interviews, so that will never change. Anyway. Let's go back to this. So yeah, Trial Channel says this is probably the best timeline presentation ever seen a trial. I have to agree. Even, I said it before, Adelson was the bar, but these guys have cleared it. I'm sorry, Sementilli, I wish I saw it earlier before giving the title to Georgia Kappelman. Not that I don't like Georgia Kappelman. I love Georgia Kappelman. I stand Georgia Kappelman, but the bar has been cleared. Like they knocked it out of the park with this one, especially without a presenting timeline. Anyway, let's go into the testimony that she gave in regards to Monica entering Target at this time.
Can you tell us what you see on the video, captured on the video at this point, in the purple circle?
Yes, if you really pay attention to that corner of that white building, when we talked about how the cameras were blurry, but you can see movement, and it's easily, at least it was easy for me to distinguish between the movement of a car and the movement of a person walking through the lot. If you pay attention to that corner, you can see the shadow of a person come from that corner and walk into the lot.
Now, when you went out to the Target parking lot, did you note that there was actually that area there has cars, but that that are parked, as we see along the diagonal area here?
Yes.
That when this the defendant's Ford F-150 comes around, that it actually stops in a lane of traffic.
Yes.
Slowly.
So,
Right there, is that a figure?
Yes. Appears to be wearing dark clothing.
Okay.
Thank you, random girl. I appreciate
See that figure right there?
Yes.
Okay. Again there?
Yep,
Walking towards the vehicle,
that's correct.
and then the Ford F-150 stops.
And it's very hard to see, but you can see the movement of that shadow come around the front of the F-150.
And at that point, does it appear that the individual who we saw walking along as you're facing the Target store, the left side of the building where there's a walkway that feeds you from Ventura Boulevard, that the figure comes around the front of the vehicle to the front passenger side of the vehicle?
Yes.
same?
Tell me what you see.
You almost simultaneously as the
Before we get into that, I just want to say this. I just want to say this, like, because random girl says Pierre Tragos did an interview for Heinz for the we heard that before he was the lawyer, you know. Well, he was the lawyer, you know, at the time, but he wasn't forefront with it. But I get what you mean. But I must say, like, I watched those interviews back, and I just wish I was a bit. I was so raw. I just wanted to talk. But I wish I knew a lot of what I know now. Like my questions would have been a bit better, like, in my opinion. But like, nonetheless, it was probably like, I'm still over the moon. I will never take it back. Probably like greatest moment of my life to interview all those people. But anyway, continuing on. Let me rewind a little bit so that we can catch back up. I will add on time after I might hit the 2-hour 30-minute mark at this rate, but let's continue on.
Tell me what you see.
you almost simultaneously as the F-150 nears that corner of the Payless, you see that figure come out of the corner of the Payless, approach the car as it comes to a stop. The figure walks around the front of the F-150 to the passenger side of the vehicle.
And at that point, does the Ford F-150 then move forward and park?
Yes,
Is that what we're seeing here at 3:30 and 22 seconds?
that's correct.
And the figure is no longer there.
Right, you don't see the figure leave the area after the Ford F-150 reparks.
And then what do we see here happen with respect to where the Ford F-150 parks?
It parks on that very far corner. It's almost the last parking spot in that row at the very back of the lot. And it remains there for a little over 4 minutes.
Okay, let me ask you another question while we're stopped at this point. Just to the right of that red circle where the defendant parked in the Ford F-150 to the rear of the Target lot, just to the right of that in the green circle, what do we see there?
That is indicating the location where the Robert Baker had repositioned the silver Nissan.
This is so important for so many reasons, because at the time I was watching this, I didn't really make the connection until now, but it seems to me that it's either when she had met with Robert Baker at this point that she gave him the all clear to go to the house, and that's why they didn't see him leave. So of course, we know that it's not possible for Monica to have driven him back into the house because he's not, like, we would not have seen him from the onset, him running into the house. This is why I believe that this case was a lot harder. It looks easy now, following all through, but without those details of them running into the house, all those things presented immediately, you would get lost in this part, in my opinion, because my mind did wander for a bit, and I was wondering, wait a second, does this mean that she entered the car with, that he entered the car? But no, what this actually means is they likely, that where he had reparked, etc., that at this point they were moving in, using the alleyways, etc., to go into the house without being detected. So they just seem to have been, so they made it, in my opinion, they made it look like, they being Monica and Baker, made it look like they were going shopping together, when really and truly, what has basically happened is that Baker took another route, and essentially he was able to go another way to gain access to the Sementilli residence. So I'm gonna move on. That's what I think, anyways. Like, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I was about to say, I'm pretty sure Trial Channel will correct me anytime soon. But yeah, I don't dispute that. They were, Trial Channel says that they were having a meeting. I agree they were having a meeting. But is the part where I was lost anyway, is, wait a second, so how did he leave? No one saw him leave, because the burner, from what I remember, doesn't move until after the murder was committed. So I was wondering, how did that happen? So yeah, they were definitely having a meeting, but and then they went ahead, and then Baker and the other assailant went ahead and committed the murder. Anyway, let me move on to the next part of the testimony, which was where she gave testimony about a silver Nissan leaving the parking lot. Let me just continue on here, which is where I think, yeah, I was about to say she was going to kind of correct me at this one as well.
With Baker's vehicle still there on the same area where he had reparked.
That's correct.
Okay.
I knew you were going to correct me at that. I realized too late.
At 3:36 p.m., what do we see here?
That is Monica sending a Viber message to Robert Baker. Then 1 minute later, approximately 3 minutes after Monica reparks the F-150, we see Robert Baker driving the silver Nissan exit the parking lot.
Completely forgot about this part. When that ball came.
Sustain.
His vehicle at that point drives away from the target location. He's not seen at that location again after that?
That's correct.
Very key.
What do we see here at 3:36 and 29 seconds?
We're going to see the silver Nissan exiting the parking lot. If I recall correctly, he actually exits through that alternate exit that we were talking about.
Okay.
We don't have video of whether he travels on to DeSoto or Ventura after that.
And at that point,
Continue on your objection. Conclusion to driving.
it's an inference reasonable to be.
Excuse me, that's for argument, not for evidence. Sustain.
Okay. At this point, the vehicle drives towards as we talked about, the other shopping center that is to the left in this particular diagram, or behind the target parking lot.
Correct.
And at that point, there's no video that shows whether he traveled directly forward, which would be towards, is that DeSoto?
Yes.
Or whether he takes a left and goes out to Ventura Boulevard, where I believe we see that marked on the diagram. Is that correct? It says Ventura Boulevard?
No, this is all speculation and argument.
The term he? I would refer to that as the vehicle.
All right, so let's move on to the next part of the testimony, which I thought is very key for a number of reasons. And it seems small, but I am going to highlight it for which we are going to get to now. So let me highlight this testimony.
For babysitting. All right. To Gessica, her daughter. Monica sends a text message, instant message to Gessica, her daughter, reminding her, don't be late for babysitting.
And again, at this point, she's using regular communication, so we have the content, is that correct? That's how you know it says don't be late for babysitting?
That's correct. And we know based on the information that Gessica at this point hasn't left the Sementilli residence. She's still there along with Fabio.
And they're the only two in the residence at that point as depicted in the top left corner.
Correct.
All right.
All right, so let's go to the whiteboard and note this down. So she says, Monica to Gessica. This is going to be very important. I will refer it back to it. Gessica, don't late baby sitting. Because it was very interesting. We might hear from Deborah Obad, but it was very interesting because this babysitting, she was babysitting for Deborah Obad. I need to go back to her significance because maybe we might hear testimony from her because Deborah was the one that told Gessica to go back to the house, that your dad, something has happened. I don't think she really said that your dad had died. That's how Gessica went back to the house. So this message in regards to Monica telling her not to be late for babysitting is going to be very crucial. But I just want to say another reminder, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. If you're watching back on replay, hopefully you are enjoying the stream so far. Anyway, ad time over. Let's get back into the testimony. Oh, before I do get back into it, trial channel says that that she will testify about this. Okay, which is amazing. Okay, I'm looking forward to what she has to say about all of this madness. Let me go into the next timestamp that I have here, which is where she testifies in regards to Monica being at Target, and probably the funniest testimony because I just got the mental image again flashing through my head. So this was Monica entering into the
Doctor.
Sorry, not entering, exiting Target. Let me just go to this time.
Occurring while the defendant is inside the Target store, correct?
Yes, these calls occurred while she was inside the Target.
Okay. At 4:32, a few minutes after that call, what do we see captured on video?
This is a video that captures Monica Sementilli exiting the Target, and as she's exiting, she's staring into her cell phone, using her cell phone, and seems to be preoccupied in her cell phone and almost miss the exit to the Target.
Is that what we see right here?
Overall.
Yes.
She has to redirect herself?
Correct. And
when objections mess up your case.
Still looking at the cell phone as she exits Target.
The investment, man, it's just the emotional investment in just making sure that all of this, and she's looking at the phone. We have to remember Curtis Davis' testimony from episode 5, I think it was, episode 5 or episode 6, anyway, week 4, week 3. He testified in regards to a high level of Wi-Fi activity around the time of 4:32. I'm in awe in just how referential this is. Like, I love this. I just love this. I geek out for this. Like, it's just so good how they have put this together. because it's a case that they could have easily lost. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was well investigated, but a lot of the information is scattered. Like it needed to be presented cohesively. It doesn't seem as easy as the Adelson case, in my opinion, which is probably the case closest to this. The only part that they had to make sure that they had right was the wiretaps, and in my opinion, even that team messed that up a little bit, because you could be lost listening to all those wiretaps. You could be lost. But I'm not here to talk about the Adelson case. Is the Sementilli case, so let's continue.
Looking at the exterior surveillance video now at 4:32, what do we see here?
This will just follow Monica as she walks out of the Target, through the parking lot, and back to the F-150.
And what do we see here at 4:37?
Monica places an outgoing call to her daughter, Isabella.
What do we see here at 4:38? 1 minute after that call.
Yes, at 4:38, we'll see video that depicts the Ford F-150 exiting the Target lot. She backs out, actually comes the opposite direction of the direction when she arrived. As she's, the F-150 is stopped waiting for the traffic light.
At Ventura.
At Ventura, she negotiates a left-hand turn and travels down eastbound Ventura Boulevard.
Okay.
My question with listening to all of that is, what is with the obsession with Gessica? Why is she calling Gessica all of a sudden? She has already said don't be late for the babysitting. Why does she need her at the house around this time? Remember, it's 4:38. The murder hasn't happened yet, because the murder apparently happened around 4:51, 4:53, I think. Could be wrong. 4:50, 4:48, I think it was, around that time. But the murder hasn't happened yet. It's 10 minutes to go. So now we're going into the next testimony here, and that I've highlighted here anyway, and that is where Mitzi gives testimony about the assailants leaving the premises. Let's listen to that. I'm not going to spend too long on this one.
After she exits the Ralphs, what do we see here at 4:53?
We're going to see Fabio Sementilli's Porsche, black Porsche, driven by Baker with Austin in the passenger seat, travel down Queen Victoria and make that right-hand turn down Oakdale. This cutout of that is just to illustrate that there are two persons in the vehicle, and the one driving is wearing the green shirt, and the passenger is in a dark colored hoodie.
And based on the DNA evidence in this case, you know, obviously, that Baker's DNA was found in the driver's compartment as well as on the steering wheel.
Correct.
Continue on. Yeah, I'm not on my top form tonight, guys. Okay, Isabella, she called Isabella, not Gessica. Okay, my mistake.
And one moment.
That doesn't ruin my theory though, because if she's calling Jessica, anyway, I'm going to. I do think that the Isabella one is a bit it's still conducive with my theory of wanting everyone out of the house, and what I think because what Austin is going to testify to is what he was fearing and what Baker was fearing as well when they were in the house. Can't wait to get to it, but that is why I was highlighting a lot of the communications. At least that's why I think the prosecution were highlighting these communications that was happening around the time before the murder had occurred.
1 minute after Baker drove away with Austin in victim Fabio Sementilli's Porsche, what do we see happening at 4:54?
Isabella Sementilli returns home. We'll see her negotiate that left-hand turn from Oakdale onto Queen Victoria.
I remember seeing this on the first day, and I was
this is her
confused as hell.
driving that red Fiat.
I was confused as hell when I first saw this. I was like, what's this got to do with anything? Like, why are these people showing me people who were leaving and going? Like, why am I seeing the housekeeper coming and give testimony? Even now, the housekeeper is so important and integral to the story. Like,
And
I
2
can't
minutes
wait to
after
get to
that,
scene.
at 4:56, what do we see?
We're going to see that same camera at the Ralphs, in the area of the Ralphs there, capture the Porsche traveling down Winnetka towards Ventura Boulevard.
Okay, so we know already from the first that Baker's DNA. We already know that Baker's DNA was found at the vehicle. We also know that they ditched the Porsche from Ryan Verner's testimony from all the way from day 2. So we're not gonna spend too much time on this. I now want to move on to the next part of her testimony, which was where she testifies in regards to recovering Baker's. I'll probably get this wrong again because I just read the title, but I think it was recovering Baker's SD card and Dropbox folder where he had explicit pictures of Monica with other partners, and oh gosh, it's gonna get disturbing. It's gonna get disturbing. I'm not gonna spend too long on this. If you're watching this and you have kids around, send them to bed because it is becoming adulterated now. Let's go.
The hands are pointed to 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And above that, you also see Robert Baker's initials.
Yes, RB.
Did you often, as we talked about the codes that the defendant and Baker would use in their jail communications, whether it be by letter or in their phone calls where they were able to talk to each other, did the time 10 p.m. or 10 o'clock come up numerous times?
Yes.
In what aspect?
It was, they talked about in their jail mail and calls that they would always pause at 10 o'clock to think about each other.
And the last page, does there appear to be, again, another handwritten letter, front and back, that ends with, "Happy holidays for the rest of this life and the next. More than love, your SNHLM."
Yes.
Any idea what any of that means?
No.
Detective Sonia was been previously marked as People's 226. Do you recognize what you see there?
Yes.
And what is that?
It's a property report on the front, but evidence envelope containing, it says underwear. I don't know if there's underwear in here, but, and then miscellaneous papers and news articles.
Okay. And was this, again, one of the items that you reviewed with respect to evidence booked to this case? In this case, by Detective Byers?
Yes.
Did you
Josh
work?
Byers.
Yes. Did you work with Detective Byers and Detective Carroll when you were at Robbery Homicide Division for many years?
For many years, yes.
And did you meet with them and discuss with them your investigation when you retired and they took over the case as the third set of investigating officers?
Yes, graciously they did.
Yeah. Can you open this envelope and again remove the items inside here?
Okay, within the envelope, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 manila envelopes. Each one is corresponding to the item number that Detective Byers put on his report.
All right. Item 168.
This is miscellaneous papers.
So if we put them in order, do the actual envelopes inside range from 168 to 173?
Correct.
Okay. If we turn over the document, the property report on the exterior of the envelope, does that run through 173?
Correct.
All right, so that was the, I unfortunately went ahead of myself. That was the jail mail that I was going to cover later on, but I guess I have put it in the wrong order here. But anyway, let's go into Baker's Dropbox that I was alluding to earlier, where a lot of the evidence is tied in regards to what Detective Madonna was talking about in regards to Monica's name being Madonna, as well as Roger Brown testifying to this fact as well. So Baker had saved a lot of explicit pictures of Monica, etc. on the Dropbox. We are not going to spend too much time on this. Like I said, it's a bit raunchy in nature, but yeah, we're just going to quickly go through this, go listen to the important jail calls, and then go to Christopher Austin's testimony in regards to all this. I won't spend there was a lot to condense into Mitzi's testimony, and I'm pretty sure I may have missed a couple of things or two, which is I believe Trial Channel is gonna try and come up and fill in a bit of the blanks, because I cannot wait to see the blind spots I may have missed in all this. But anyway, let's continue on.
That's where Robert Baker lived.
Showing you photographs contained in People's 217 that has a 6 on the lower left corner. Photographs from December 14th from 2016 at 12:59 in the morning. Do you recognize what you see here?
Yes, I do.
And what do these photographs?
They depict Monica Sementilli with Robert Baker. In the photograph on the right, she's holding a cigar and they're smiling together. And on the left, they're kissing.
There is a continuing objection to the photograph.
Yes, I understand, sir.
Did you find in Robert Baker's Dropbox numerous photographs that were sexually graphic in nature?
Yes.
Can you describe for us what those photographs depicted?
Objection, Your Honor, that's open-ended.
Let me see his elbow.
Did you understand my last question?
I did remember.
Did you find numerous, when I say numerous, over 240 photographs, videos of a sexually graphic nature relating to the defendant and Robert Baker stored in Robert Baker's Dropbox under a couple different names.
Yes.
Was one of those names Madonna?
Yes.
And another one named Real Madonna?
Yes.
Can you describe for us, let me ask you this, were the photographs of a sexually graphic or explicit nature ranging from 2016 to photographs in 2017?
Yes.
Can you give us a generalized description of what these photographs encompassed, Detective, based on your experience with sex crimes?
Now you can also skip this part ahead if you're watching back on replay. I'm gonna go ahead and play it, not for long though.
Yes. There was, as you stated previously, over 240 photos, mostly photos, some video, depicting Monica Baker. I'm sorry, I apologize. Monica Sementilli, partially clothed, completely nude, seductive poses. There were photos of close-ups of Monica Sementilli's vagina, close-ups of her breasts, close-ups of Robert Baker's penis. There were explicit photos of sexual intercourse, oral copulation, wherein Monica is oral copulating Robert Baker, oral copulation by Monica on other unknown males, screenshots of Skype type videoing of Monica engaged in various sex acts with an unknown male.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. I don't want to hear anymore. All right, that's enough. That's enough. All right, so we get the idea. Baker and Monica were especially involved, and I do want to go on. Yeah. Yeah, as the soft girl, it was. I am not going to deny. Like, I listened to that and I was squirming. I just can't. And it's quite long. Like, this is why I really believed. This is why I was really confirmed, really, that Sheila was, a swinger as well. Like, because I did listen to this part before having to prepare for last week's show. So that's why, because she must have been in this, in all this as well. But she also gave, after this, she went on to testify about the purchase of the kayak tickets by Christopher Austin, who was the other assailant, to travel on the 23rd back to Alaska, where he lives. She also testifies in regards to the cell tower activity, and also testifies in regards to the jail calls that was made. I am gonna go to the jail calls, but before we do leave the timeline that we just established in regards to what happened before the murder took place, because a lot of it is going to be discussed on Christopher Austin's testimony. A lot of it is very contextual to that. I want to bring up the trial channel, because she has mentioned that I may have missed some parts of the testimony, some parts of the timeline. So I want to kind of fill those blind spots and and the possible parts I may miss. I don't like leaving things unturned, and that's why I like doing the streams and having you guys here, because there are people that definitely are going to, that may have seen the case and just wants to give their insights as well. Anyway, trial channel, thank you so much for joining. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yay, we got it on the first time. Okay, so did you want to just pull up that part 45.2 again?
Sure. Let me just go to it quickly. All right. So what did I miss from this part?
Okay, so I think if you're going, let's see, I'm trying to find. All right, so basically what I wanted to point out first was just the span of time. You know, we went over the when Monica goes into the target. She goes into the target at 3:29, I believe.
Right.
And she walks out at 4:32.
Right.
She's in there for a whole hour and she just has one little bag. What in the world is she doing in there?
Oh shoot, I did not see that. Oh
yeah.
Wow, I did not pick that out.
So yeah, that was a major point that it's weird. And then she gets back into the car and she sits in there for that's when she calls Isabella. She's sitting in the car for 6 minutes before she leaves.
She's stalling and going home.
Yeah, but then she goes to the Ralphs, which is not far. And then if she goes into the Ralphs, she's there for like a total of, I think she leaves the parking lot of Target at 4:32.
Yeah.
And then she walks out of the Ralphs at 4:52. Again, only a small purchase that she makes. After that,
maybe she just has peculiar taste and just looks for special things.
Oh, so, but yeah, but why then so she gets out of the Rouse at 4:52, and then she sits in the parking lot for no, she sits in the parking lot for a while. At 4:56 is when you see that that road that you have up right there.
Right.
The Porsche is going to pass down. Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Porsche passes by the Ralph's parking lot at 4:56, and then it takes her 7 minutes to get home from there.
Hold up. I did not. Hold up. Let me go back a little bit. 4:56. You said the Porsche passes the 4:56. It should be around.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah, that's the one here.
Yeah, and then it just popped up right there that 5:03 she doesn't get home. So it took the Porsche 3 minutes, right? Yeah, because they leave at 4:53. It takes them 3 minutes to get past by the Ralphs, and it takes her 7 minutes to make it home.
Okay. That is cool. It's kind of like trigger timing. So they knew that they made sure that they were to drive around this point so that it can signal to her, okay, it's time for you to go back home now, basically.
Yeah, that's my theory.
No, I think it makes sense. I think it's logical.
I think she was sitting there waiting, and then I think this has been established before in the trial.
I didn't
from
hear
the very beginning. No. My next point.
Oh, okay.
The fact that the Porsche is seen leaving on that camera the neighborhood, and then 1 minute later is when Isabella arrives home.
Yeah.
She's entering the neighborhood. So like just 1 minute apart, they missed each other, which is
Yeah, and it kind of makes like this is why I highlighted as well with the Isabella call, because it seems to me that she only called Isabella to like try and find out where she was and to try and like stall her a little bit longer.
Exactly. And there
opinion,
was no, I believe so too. And well, she was telling Isabella was at school. She was supposed to be arriving home soon. She told Isabella that she had to go pick up her glasses at the eye doctor.
Okay.
Which is like on that same main road that Target is on. But it is still very close to the house. So just having her stop there, and there should be more testimony about this, about Isabella and her glasses and stuff like that. But yeah, those are the key points I wanted to bring up about the timeline. I don't want to hold you up too much before you get into the Chris Austin.
No worries. Like I think that's contextual because everything that Austin testifies to does filter through this timeline. So I do appreciate that little bit.
Okay, there we go.
All right. All right.
Continue on.
Thank you.
All right.
3 o'clock. That was the trial channel. Thanks for joining. 3 o'clock. Monty says here the data is the data. Of course. The data is so revealing in this case because it just syncs up perfectly with the time with the sequence of events that are happening and everyone's testimony, and also a much better contrast compared to the data that Hank Brennan has said that the data is the data. Like that guy butchered that understanding completely. Anyway, moving on. She is running errands. Is that the point? Yeah, but more of alibi, in my opinion. She's just giving herself an alibi so that she can't be connected to the murder, and people would not suspect that she did it. That's why I think that she was doing this errand. I don't really think that she was running errands, to be honest. But she pretty much knew. Basically, she's basically complicit to all of it. Anyway, let me move on now and go straight to the jail call, up to the jail calls that was made by Monica Sementilli and Baker. But I'm not gonna play all the jail calls because there was 12 jail calls in total. I'm only gonna focus on jail call 10 because it's a perfect segue to what we're discussing, to what we're going to discuss later on. I'm also going to focus on jail call 12. The rest, all of it, I'll leave the links to watch all these testimonies in full. If you want to watch it on the trial channel, she great resource there. It makes my job so much easier to break this down and like condense the key parts that I picked out from this. But if you guys do watch it as well and you guys are following along, I do like everyone to contribute. That's why I call you guys tastemakers, because everyone has different flavor that they're bringing to this, especially a trial channel. Like I love hearing her thoughts on cases like this, like, because she does highlight a couple of blind spots that I may have missed. So yeah, it's kind of let's continue on with the testimonies. Well, not really testimonies, with the jail calls that was made. Let's continue.
Share with you. All good stuff.
That's great. I'll just wait.
Yeah, it's good stuff, and it's also stuff that you have told me before in the past that I refuse to believe, and it's actually true. So, yeah. So you were right again.
That's pretty good. That was a lot. Huh?
You were right again. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff I said.
Well, I know, but
there was a lot of stuff I said.
Yeah, I'm just
Can you kind of narrow it down?
No, I can't. I shouldn't even be talking to you right now. That's why I need to do the thing that we need to do.
I forgot to share the screen. My bad.
Yeah,
I forgot to share the screen.
I'm just trying to say,
Can you kind of narrow it down?
No, I can't. I shouldn't even be talking to you right now. That's why we need to do the thing that we need to do, so.
Okay, well, here's the other part of that. We can't do it calling here. We have to do it another way.
Yeah, well,
and that's why the code will be very important.
Yes, okay.
So that's what I was saying.
This call is being recorded.
The code should be executed for our special day added together.
No, okay, let's change it because I got 2 dates in my head and I want to get it wrong.
Okay.
I got an easier way to do it.
Okay.
Okay? We both have a mutual friend who has a little dog and lives with his mother.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you know that in your head, right?
Yeah.
It has a certain amount of letters in the name. That is the magic number.
First and last?
No, just first.
Just the first name. Okay.
And that's the number you use for that. And also to make letters, I have a way of doing it also if we have to make letters. Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. We can't do a 3-way call with that person.
No.
This call is being recorded.
Using the name as a number. So if I tell you, if I say the number is can you give me an example? The number is that base, and I say it's 4 plus 4. Then you add.
Okay, that's exactly.
I don't think you understand. That's all I wanted from that. But her expressions are priceless. And the fact that we're hearing your calls are being recorded. How do these guys get so comfortable saying all this stuff over the phone, knowing that they're being recorded? I mean, heavens. But we know who the third person would be. And it would likely be Christopher Austin. In regards to a 3-way call, we are gonna get into the reason why that's the case. Thank you so much, Random Guy. I appreciate you. And welcome to Heinz Condiment Island. Thank you for becoming a member as the Shove Girl. I appreciate you. Thanks ever so much. You get early access, emojis, all of those things. But yeah, the tastemakers obviously get exclusive content. With the tastemakers tier. Anyway, let's continue on with Jail Call 12. They're not usually, but they are. I mean, I've seen the Louvre heist. Like, that was extravagant. Like, I know it's a heist, but this one looks, in my opinion, this is sloppy. I'm surprised they really believed that they were gonna get away with this, because it's really sloppy when you actually do review the evidence in mind. But then again, I'm looking from the lens of the prosecution presentation of the case. It looks sloppy, but putting all this together, it probably was difficult to get everything in. Anyway, let's listen to this jail call.
Is what we're on protocol with that. So, the only thing is, my team tells me that, my team tells me that you're not, your
Oh, I thought it was, okay, my bad. I thought it was Christopher Austin. Okay, my bad. I thought it was Christopher Austin. Okay. Thank you, Charles Channel.
reason is not the same as mine, which doesn't make sense to me.
I don't get that. But I never gave anybody anything.
No, the whole racquetball thing, when I punched you in the hand, I figured I caused you the most,
yeah, I know that.
But I think, because they're saying, he heard it in the door, and I said, well, I don't know, but I know what I did. I know what happened, so.
No, I didn't. I never said anything. I never told them anything. I never told anybody anything.
They're just lying anyways,
and
I don't care.
Yeah, I never told them anything about I said I got hit. That's what I said. That's the only thing I said. I said I got hit. Had nothing to do. I didn't even, anyway.
So, let's see what it is. Let's see the follow-up question.
And again, Detective, did you recognize the two individuals that we just heard speaking in that last clip?
Yes, it's Monica Sementilli and Robert Baker.
And in terms of this particular call, does this relate to a subject that you came across in several different phone calls.
Yes.
And what does this relate to?
This relates to the explanation for how Robert Baker's DNA ended up in Monica Sementilli's residence.
Okay.
We already know so much in regards to this whole racquetball thing. There was no injuries to the hand. They were now trying to scramble and say that that you heard in racquetball they're lying, etc. But we know that's not the case, and it's just she's just basically trying to save her. Like trying to they're trying to contain what is uncontainable from jail. Like you're sitting in prison. Like I'm sorry. Anyway, moving on. So she went on to give the proposal. I'm not gonna play the call, to be honest. It's kind of corny, but it was a jailhouse proposal that was made by Baker to Monica, saying that she wants to marry him, showing the depths of their relationship. So oh gosh, I think guys, let me know how you're feeling in regards to this, in regards to all of this, because honestly, this is evil. I think this is next level evil, in the sense that I just like, at first I gave her the maximum benefit of the doubt, but the way that all of these things, the way that it's all transpired,
thank you. The people call Christopher
to this one, I didn't expect it to be like I just didn't expect how everything has unfolded. Even the one thing that really irked me, and I want to know what irked you guys as well, if you guys were following this when the trial was going on. But the one thing that really irked me was learning from Cesar Aviles. I can't get that out of my head, where she actually said that the husband was killed in the Ford. That I can't get that. I'm like, you, on top of you performing on Instagram, I put that to one side and be like, maybe, I took the defense side on this one and thought, okay, she's made other posts, so if you're gonna single out on this post, it's kind of unfair. And I even put to one side Alicia Truesdale testimony about Fabio saying that, not Fabio, Robert Baker sitting in Fabio's seat, and I thought, okay, that's a bit petty, but I like it. But that testimony from Cesar Aviles about that just that left a really horrible taste in my mouth. Forget the cheating, I can get over that. Like, everyone cheats, like blah blah, like I can get over that. Like, relationships have their ups and downs. There are unique reasons why people go into that way, but this one, like, I don't know, man. You know what happened, and you still said that he was killed in the car. Like, I'm sorry, just some things I just can't overlook. Anyway, let's go right now into Christopher Austin's testimony, and let's get a bit of an idea of this guy's background.
Hold them accountable, mentor, find them.
Let me just go back a little bit. I went too far ahead, but yeah. So let me just. There we go.
So for the state of Oregon, and my title was Juvenile Parole and Probation Officer for the state of Oregon.
What did you do specifically working with high-risk youth?
Monitor, supervise, hold them accountable, mentor, find them programs if they needed to have programs, try to reunite them with their family, give them coping skills, find them resources, help them get jobs, help them find housing, whatever I could do to help them stay out of the system.
How long had you been working for the state of Oregon prior to your arrest?
4 years.
And what did you do before that?
I worked for the state of I worked for DHS as an IDD home, intellectual disability for adults.
What is DHS?
Department of Human Services.
How does somebody go from working for the Department of Human Services to committing a murder? Like, everything about this guy, just I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna give my thoughts about it in the end.
They grew up,
but this is kind of key to what I have to say later on.
Together, the same neighborhood I grew up in.
Explain.
So now
How did
he's-
you meet him in middle school?
Maybe before.
All right, so now he's going into how he met Baker.
Was that in North Carolina?
Yes.
And how did you meet him in middle school?
My dad.
Can you explain that?
They grew up together in the same neighborhood I grew up in. So he would come in from time to time, say hello, meet with my dad, hang out, then leave.
So he was one of your dad's good friends?
Yes.
And then did you become friends with him in your adulthood?
Before that, but yes.
Did you have a term that you referred to him as?
Yes.
What is that?
I called him Unc, short for uncle.
Family, basically. Which I get. Like, we all we all hear Snoop Dogg call his friend's nephew and all of those things. And Snoop Dogg is kind of our uncle, the weed head. So I can understand why this guy why he felt a close attachment to Baker.
Were you aware that Robert Baker was arrested with Monica Sementilli on June 14th of 2017 for murder?
Never mind, that's right.
I'm usually wrong.
Yes.
How did you find out?
How did I find out? Oh, I got a phone call.
From who?
Birdsong.
213, is that who you know to be Birdsong?
Yes.
Alfred Birdsong?
Yes.
Do you have a name that you refer to him as?
I called him Unc too.
Right, okay, let's go to the whiteboard really quickly because, oh wait, I got a thing here. Anyway, this is what I want. Albert Song. I don't know if he is, damn it, Alfred. I have no idea if he is going to testify at all in regards to this trial. But if he's called Unc, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some layers being peeled back here. I want to know because he was apparently, we skimmed a lot from Mitzi Roberts' testimony, but she gave testimony about there being burner calls around the time of the murder. No, not around the time of the murder, around the 27th of January 2017, and also the 30th, in regards to Birdsong, Baker, all having freeway calls. So Birdsong is going to be integral, but I remember an attorney that was mentioned. He was very important because there were communications between the attorney, Monica and Baker speaking through the attorneys basically, and try not to be detected that way. It was a long way to get there. I didn't really go through it because of, it was just a long explanation, but like I said, the link to watch the whole trial is in the description. So let's go back into the testimony because it just seems to me, and I will expand more on this point, but it seems to me that Baker really primed to pick this person to commit this murder, very similar to what we saw with Charlie Adelson, why he would pick Catherine McBanoa to go ahead and get the Latin gangs to commit the, Catherine is not as sympathetic as this guy, because I do think that Catherine has that kind of edge to her, but I would still say that she did it because she knows that the access that Charlie Adelson has, that is probably a good thing to do to keep that door open. So she would want to fulfill she would want to fulfill that life. But him is more of a personal connection, because he's already got his life set. So he doesn't really need financially anything. I wouldn't imagine it that the finances will be that important to him, but more of the connection that he has with Baker. Anyway, I will expand more on that later on. Let's move on to the next part of the testimony in regards to how he felt after the murder had taken place, because he did say that before the murder he moved to Alaska, where he wanted a change of scenery, and he had also maintained contact with Baker. So now he's testifying to what he felt due to the event happening and all of that.
A lot of shame.
Your head at this time. And what's going through your head at this time?
A lot of shame. Lots of shame. But I also don't know. Divorce, lost a job, disappointment from my mentees, how many people I hurt because of this. It's a lot to process.
Okay. And as you're absorbing this, somebody's trying to talk to you, so
that's all I wanted from there, because the next part of the testimony goes into a bit more deeper now, and this is probably, I'll be very honest, this is probably the only witness that I felt a lot of sympathy for, who's committed a crime, but I'm gonna explain that a bit later on after.
He said, we know you were there, so you need to be honest with us.
So this was when he got caught, and when the police had arrested him on the 2nd of October, 2020.
what pictures did he show you?
He showed me pictures of Mr. Baker and myself jogging, and black Porsche.
You recognized yourself in the photo jogging?
I did.
Exhibit 19, and I'm not saying this exhibit, but is that the photo or a copy of the photo that Detective Farrell showed you?
Yes, ma'am.
The person in the front right here in the green, who is that?
That's Mr. Baker.
And the person in the back with the hood, the darker hood, who is that?
That is myself.
So when he showed you that photograph, you recognized it?
Yeah.
How did you recognize that? From what?
Oh, I recognize it from the green sweatshirt first.
I'm sorry, I can't get over how she's looking at him, because for me, she's trying to, like, I picked up this pattern with Monica, because watching all through this, she has made the faces of so sad, devoted mother and all of this. Oh, I miss Fabio. Like every moment that Fabio is mentioned, I miss him. Crying even. I even had to play that clip just to show how much she performed. I call it performed for this specific reason. The reason why I call it performed, when that video was shown during Jessica's cross-examination, where Fabio and Monica were dancing. The reason why I call it a performance there is because when you now reach this witness, I'm sorry, based on everything that's come out and what he's going to testify to, this looks like, how are you implicating all of this on me at this point? It's going to become apparent later on, like, because this face, I'm sorry, I'm just not buying that she feels disgust for Fabio. I believe that she feels more disgust because this guy is breaking the no snitches or snitches get stitches rule kind of thing. That's what I think anyway. Let's continue on with the testimony, where he testifies to stabbing stabbing Fabio, and why he's now deciding to tell the truth about everything.
You've been with them for a while, right?
I did.
Did you tell them that you were actually involved in the actual killing of Fabio Sementilli?
I did.
Did you tell them what your role was as far as participating in the crime?
I did.
What did you tell them?
I told them I was there. I told them that I helped. I told them that I stabbed him once. That I stabbed him once. That's what I told him.
So you admitted your role in the crime, and then, but at this point, you didn't give every detail. Is that fair?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you put back in the cell then with that undercover agent?
I was.
And did you start talking to him now?
Yeah.
Why did you start talking to him now?
I told it. Because I told the detectives the truth. And then I started just thinking about my life. Not being able to. I started thinking about just all the harm that I caused the family. I was in disbelief. I was frustrated, and I just wanted to talk about something different.
When you're talking to this person now, when you've been back in the cell after you interview with the detectives, at any point did you realize he was an undercover agent put in there by the detectives?
Not till they took me to jail.
All right, so we're gonna move on to that testimony that he gave in regards to the undercover agent that was doing the Perkins operation, similar to what happened with Monica Sementilli, where she confessed and said, well, not confessed, but she basically just said she initially started with, "Oh, we're just friends, Baker, nothing's going on," and then all of a sudden, "Oh, we were just fucking other people," and then the undercover agent was saying, "So he's more than a friend, huh? He's more than a..." Anyway. Memories with that testimony. Anyway, let's go into what he testifies to here in regards to what he testifies to the cellmate. I'm gonna let it run.
Yeah.
What did you tell him?
I told him Baker stabbed him.
Now, did you tell him what the plan was from the beginning?
I believe so.
What did you tell him?
I believe he was told I was told that we were supposed to go rough him up, but that didn't happen.
But was that the plan?
No.
What was the plan?
Plan was to have him killed.
When you told your cellmate the plan was to go rough him up, then why didn't you tell your cellmate what the real plan was? Why did you lighten the story, let's say?
Well, a total stranger be telling my skeletons to. Didn't want to.
Did you tell them who was involved, the cellmate? Did you tell him who was involved in it, or did he ask you who was involved in this?
He asked. I remember him asking a lot of questions.
Okay. What did you tell him?
Told him Baker and the woman he was messing with was involved.
The woman he was messing with, do you see her in court?
Yes.
Can you please identify where she's sitting and what she's wearing?
To my far right, white blouse, gray suit.
Indicating the defendant.
The judge didn't even let the attorney indicate. The judge said it, indicate the defendant. Move on. Anyway,
we'll get to the defendant in a moment, but you told him the woman he was messing with and him planned it. What else did you tell him about that?
I told him.
I don't know.
in the cell with the Perkins agent, the undercover agent? What else did you tell him?
Told him some money is supposed to be involved. She was supposed to get a lot of money if we did it. Excuse me, sorry.
Did you specifically mention at this time to that undercover agent that it was actually insurance money?
I did.
I'm sorry?
I did.
How did you know about that?
Baker told me about it.
What did Baker tell you about it?
Baker told me she's loaded, she wants him gone, she's gonna get paid.
The detectives, they never asked you about insurance money, right? During the first interview.
Just done.
Did the detectives ever ask you about insurance money during the first interview?
No.
So this was something that you freely volunteered to the undercover agent the day you were arrested?
Yes.
It's a rule.
Did the agent say to you, to me it sounded like it's the bitch who planned everything? Do you remember him saying that to you?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
She knew about it. She did.
When did you find out about the insurance money? Baker told you about it. When did you find out about it?
After or before.
I'm sorry, I don't know. After and before?
It's after, before.
Was that before you came to Los Angeles to commit the murder?
Yes.
Do you recall how it happened? How you found out?
It was a phone call. It was a phone call. I remember Baker saying she's gonna come into some money. He tried to get me to come down earlier and I couldn't. I was working, so I couldn't do it.
Just gonna pause it here for a minute and I just got the thought in my head where I just remembered one of the the person that usually handles the divorce, Tracy Rakovich, that's the one. She is she gave a breakdown of what Monica and the family stood to receive from the event of Baker's death. Sorry, not Baker's death, Fabio's death. So now that I've just remembered that, I remember there being a testimony with all of that, and that was whether Monica had an idea of what he was entitled to earn, all those things, and it was a repeating theme all through the Weller employees and the people that were all testifying to what the entitlements were, except for Ms. Jova, who testified before Chris Gable. Remembering that just now makes sense because he knows this because Baker told him this. Baker told him that that they stood to make some money. How would Baker know this? Because Monica told Baker that they were. It's just damn the strategy. I love it. Oh yeah, and of course I'm gonna go back. I did cut out a lot of Mitzi's testimony, but she's not done. She is gonna come back and testify after Christopher Austin is done. So I am definitely going to go back and testify and bring in a lot of the testimony that she done on part. Because I remember I just saw Trial Channel say here that part 45.6 is where Missy describes the investigation into Austin. So I am going to go back into all of that and then sequence it with the rest of her testimony, because Austin provided a lot of what she was gonna say anyway, so I felt it would be redundant to just repeat it here. So I thought let me just bring it all in after he testifies. Anyway, let's go back into the testimony of what happened on that day, and what he was telling the undercover officers.
I was trying to avoid it, so I didn't think he would worry about it anymore.
What year and month was this, if you remember this conversation?
Maybe December, around the December time.
Of 2016?
2016.
All right. While you're in the cell then, you talked about money. Did you tell the agent if you were promised any money or any reward for doing this?
I don't think so.
Did you ever talk about receiving any gold coins?
I think I told him he gave me some coins.
Who gave you coins?
Baker gave me coins.
Was that gold coins?
That is correct.
When did he give them to you?
He gave them to me just before I got out at the bus station.
After the murder, but before you flew home?
Yes.
And then again, this is still while you're in the cell with the undercover agent, did you tell him then that you left right after?
Yes.
What did you tell him about leaving the scene? And this is what you recall telling the agent about leaving the scene after the murder had been committed.
I remember telling him it happened, and I had to get up out of there. And Baker dropped me off at the the bus station to catch it right back to the airport, and I flew back.
So the next part of the testimony that we're gonna go into, because he did go on to say that he testified to staying at Birdsong's apartment, so residence when he first met Monica. So he was staying in Las Vegas, and then he testifies now to meeting Monica for the first time, and the subsequent meetups, and I think he said he met her only once, and that was at racquetball. But we're gonna hear more of that testimony. Let's go.
Not really. We might have met in Vegas, but not. I don't remember seeing her there. I do remember playing racquetball with her though.
Did you go? What? Did I cut you off? Mm-hmm. Did you go to Las Vegas in July of 2016 with Robert Baker?
I did.
That particular trip, did you stay with Baker at Al Birdsong's house?
Yes.
When you went there, did you know that Baker had a female, whether you knew her name or not, that he was seeing, dating, had a relationship with?
Not really. Yes. Meaning he's been involved with a lot of women, so I would say yes all the time.
But specifically when you went to Las Vegas in July of 2016, did he mention anyone in particular that he had been seeing?
He mentioned he was seeing somebody.
At that time?
I forgot her name at that point.
Did he ever use the name Monica?
Yeah.
Is that who he said he was seeing at that time?
Yeah.
Now,
that's all I wanted from that testimony. I'm saying it up because I might cover his cross-examination if something interesting comes out. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I did see the start of it, and I thought, okay, this could be promising. There could be some bombs that come out of it. It was 2 hours long. This one is 3 hours long, so it could be important there. So he doesn't know Monica because the beginning of the cross-examination was focusing on his knowledge of Monica, which I'm gonna see if I'm gonna cover next week, and if I'm gonna go into much detail with it next week, because I like I said before, I'm retelling all of this, or I'm viewing this from the lens of the prosecution, and you know, how they secured this victory and whether it was the right verdict in the end. From what I'm seeing, it's very clear cut at the moment. But if something happens that may make me think, oh, something is off here, I will bring it up. Anyway, let me go on to the next part of his testimony, where he testifies to going to the Sementilli residence and being shown around the residence by Monica and Baker.
You went into the living room. What'd you do?
Went into the living room. There was some pizza on the counter. Asked if I wanted some pizza. I said sure. Went into the then she's like, let me show you around.
She said, let me show you around. What did she do?
She just took me out to the patio.
This is why I believe it. This is why I believe this is probably the most traumatic day to him, because this is PTSD. Like, it's so obvious. It's so obviously PTSD. The guy can't even process going through all of this. This is, I mean, he's done a deplorable thing, but this is probably the first witness that I've ever felt sympathy for going, and I'm trying to figure out how on earth he may have been roped into doing all this outside of the familial connection, because it seems to me that he was preyed on, in my opinion, to carry this out for whatever reason. I don't think he's 100% upfront in regards to what Baker told him why he has to do this. I don't think he has been 100% honest in that regard.
She took me out to the patio, and Baker was there. I remember him making a comment. It's like, nice. I was like, yeah, it's a nice spot. And so I didn't think anything of it. It's just a nice house.
Did she say anything particular about the patio?
Nothing out of just showing the patio.
Hey, Brooklyn, hold on a second. I got dragged into it, so you got dragged into the turbo, man. I hope I'm not mentioned. But yeah, I know that it's a bit messy. I have lurked, but I can't remember my name being mentioned. But anyway, I hope that your weekend and your Sunday is going good. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining, Brooklyn. I definitely remember you. But yeah, let's continue on with the testimony.
So, like, this is where we hang out.
You went back into the living room. What'd you do?
I turned on the TV and sat and watched TV for a little bit till I fell asleep.
Did you see where Monica and the defendant and Baker went?
There was a room right off the couch. Yeah, behind me to like the left.
Do you know what they were doing?
No.
How long were they gone?
I don't know.
What did you do? You're watching TV. What'd you do?
I watched TV until I fell asleep and kind of played on my phone a little bit, and then played a game on my phone. Played a game on my phone, and then I fell asleep.
Was anyone else home at this time?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Did you see any of the defendant's children or hear them at home?
No.
Did you even know the defendant had children?
Not at this time, no.
This is what's interesting to me. This part is this testimony, because it connects. I gotta bring it up, because I wouldn't think that the state would bring up Sheila into this testimony, into Gessica's testimony. I wouldn't think that they would ask. They didn't even ask Sheila. I can't remember it anyway, but I can't remember them asking Sheila if she was with Baker around this time. But we got to hear that Monica used that excuse of being with Sheila, around the house, and now we are now hearing that he was at the house and Monica and Baker had left. I'm assuming they probably gone upstairs into the bedroom, etc. Because what he's next going to testify to, which I'm not going to play, but he went on to testify about Baker coming downstairs and telling him, he can go. So he left that very same night. The next morning is when Gessica, wow, I don't know. This is what I'm trying to say. I don't know if this timeline actually coincides with what Gessica came in and saw with Baker being at the bedroom. I don't know if that coincides with with what Monica had told Gessica about Sheila staying over, etc. All those things, because she says, Sheila, I'm now hearing that this testimony, and I thought immediately when I first heard it, I thought this is likely a connection. But how obvious is the connection? I have no idea if other people, if you guys have picked it up as well. But it just sounds so similar to what Gessica just testified to, which made me think that there could be a connection. So now I'm gonna move on to the testimony in regards to that really reveals Monica's implication in all this. Like I said, I'm gonna spend so much time with this guy because there's so much to go through. I'm not gonna spend too long though. I'm not gonna spend too long. I don't want this stream to be too long. I will break it up into the next part, and then we might finish it all off from there, because I don't like to stay on too long. I do want you guys to watch back on replay. But yeah, let's continue on with the testimony in regards to communicating with Baker about carrying out this job.
At this point in the house, you knew that Baker was involved with someone.
Yes.
And he began talking about that female.
Yes.
And the topic of the conversation was a job that he may want you to do.
Yes.
Did he say anything about that female and what she wanted?
At the time, she said she don't like him. I'm sorry. Baker's telling this outline that she don't like him, so she doesn't. She don't want to be with him no more. She wants him gone. So I was like, oh.
Did you know what they were talking about when Baker says to you,
It's overruled.
she wants him gone?
I had a clue, but I was like, I'm not smart. And so they're gonna have to elaborate.
Did they elaborate?
Baker did.
What did he say?
Baker said she wants him gone.
Okay.
She wants him dead.
Did the conversation turn to, between you, Birdsong, and Baker, how to do it?
Yeah.
What happened?
I remember him talking about shooting a man.
Who said that?
Baker did.
And what was?
And then the response was, no, that would be too loud.
Who responded?
Birdsong responded, and then they both agreed that would be too loud. And then they mentioned like stabbing, and it hit him right in the jugular, quick. And I remember him saying quick.
And which one was saying that?
Baker said that. And then they both agreed, Birdsong and Baker both agreed, like, yeah, hit him in the jugular, fast and quick.
All right, I'm gonna go into my whiteboard again, and it's gonna be Birdsong plus Baker equals stab. He, which is, you know what I mean, is Austin equals shoot. Right. Right. So I do, before going back into that testimony, I do wanna I do want to highlight nothing to do with the Baker and Sheila thing, based on what I said. My mind goes on a weird tangent sometimes. I make my I thought it might have to do with, you know, that day, but it didn't, unfortunately. So hopefully it gets expanded more. I don't think so. I think if trial challenge says that it has nothing to do with it, then nothing is gonna come out of it. But anyway, let's continue on with the testimony, and I might have to sequence this into the next part. I might have to, because I don't wanna keep this too long, and there's so much to fit into that timeline, because I still have to bring that timeline back. So this might have to be a deconstruction. A part 2 might have to be the deconstruction before moving on to the next part of week 6, which is days 23 onwards. So let's continue on.
Well, Birdsong said that. And Baker, yeah. Sorry.
Okay, clarify who said what, please.
Birdsong said you could probably hit him in the jugular, quick and easy. And Baker said, yeah.
During this time then, did you see or hear Baker on the phone with anyone?
He was always on the, he's texting somebody, but I don't know who.
During this conversation then, do you know, if you know from your own point of view, if he was talking or texting with the defendant while this conversation was happening?
I wouldn't know.
Did you see him texting?
Yeah.
A lot?
He would text a lot.
During this time frame, did you have any conversations about using burner phones?
At some point, the burner phone topic came up. I just don't remember when, but it came up.
And what was the topic?
I remember hearing we can get burner phones because they can't be tracked.
Now, this conversation is occurring. Are you under the clear impression now that it is to kill this woman's husband?
Yes.
Is your opinion then, based on what Baker and Birdsong are talking about, that the wife wanted it done?
Yes.
As formed, that would be sustained.
Did you have an opinion who wanted it done?
Objection, Your Honor.
Premature, it's overruled.
Yes.
Who?
Monica wanted it, the wife wanted it done, I'm sorry.
You can tell he's breaking every code he ever stood for in his body. But I'm gonna play this last part, and then I'm going to reveal what the next show, at least what I have planned in my head, because I did not anticipate running over a little bit, running over this much, because this just, looking back on my notes, I was like, I cannot leave this part out. And even when I decided to make some choices with Missy's testimony and bring it back later on, yeah, anyway. But this next testimony that he gave, I think it's probably the best way to probably leave all this. Before we do leave, I'm going to play the testimony, and then I'm going to preview what the next stream is going to be about. So let's listen to the testimony.
Like, officially, like,
So this was him testifying about the plan to actually commit the murder and what is to happen.
Versus, like, together.
When Robert Baker said to you when you were leaving, remember the layout of the house, had there been any previous conversation about where the plan was to commit the murder?
I remember in the talks that she could leave the door open. There's a back door to their bedroom. You can go in the back door and come out on it. I remember that happened.
When did that happen, that conversation?
I want to say over the phone.
Okay, just to back you up. While you're in Las Vegas, you have one conversation about this for the first time, correct?
Yes.
During that conversation, did you ever talk about or hear Baker and Birdsong talk about where they wanted the murder to occur?
I remember them saying like it has to be in the community or some sort. Got to be out.
Okay, my question is when Baker says, remember this layout, in your mind, was there a plan that it was going to be in the house at that time, the murder?
No, if I recall, I remember he said, remember that layout, because that's when they started talking about the bedroom aspect of going in the middle of the night. And doing it while he was sleeping.
That was another conversation?
That was another conversation. I don't know when, but I know that was another conversation.
After Las Vegas?
Yes.
Okay. So at some point after you were at the house that night, did you fly back to Anchorage then the following day or within a couple of days? After you came back from Las Vegas, you went the next night to the defendant's house, or that same night, did you fly back to Anchorage?
A couple of days, probably a day or two later, maybe.
So when did these three-way calls then start?
Maybe a couple months after, 3 months after, September, October.
October timeframe?
Maybe.
During those months in between, were there any conversations about this plan to kill the defendant's husband?
Yeah.
What was that?
They were still planning, and I remember Baker still asking me like how much I weighed, things of that nature. Just about my physical attributes a little bit.
These are phone calls from Baker to you?
Mm-hmm.
So yes?
Yes.
Report.
All right, so I'm gonna put this last one up. October or September time frame murder plot began. It's very interesting, and I think it's gonna be a good point to stop there and pick this back up next Sunday when we all meet up again, because there is a lot to unpack. And I know, yes, the trial is done, and I know, yes, it's a guilty verdict, but I want to see, like I said, I just want to see how they delivered this. And so far, it's a very persuasive case. Everything that has been testified to so far is just answered a lot of questions that I had initially from the start anyway, especially in regards to the DVR system. And I really, even that testimony that he just gave about the timeline when they start putting the plan together, you already thinking based on the context that's been laid, the Sean Khan testimony, where he came in and installed the DVR around that same time frame, June. They were going out. Baker and Monica were both in Las Vegas, meeting with Birdsong and also meeting with Christopher Austin, as he just testified to. But of course, he cannot remember exactly if it was meeting. But all of those time frame is really, really important, because after that came the July, where I believe Curtis Davis testifies to Monica downloading Viber at this point, and Baker also downloading Viber at this point as well. I think Monica was actually late June, and Baker was like sometime in August or something, or July, something like that, if I can remember it properly. And that's when Viber entered the conversation. We already know that the relationship goes all the way back to 2015, late 2015, between Monica and Baker. And we already know, according to Sheila's testimony as well as Ron Ray, they were already dating from March. So when you have all of those time slots established already, in now the weight that he just gave when he delivered the testimony about Monica being like I don't like him, I just want him gone. Like it just sounds intense, because it just gives you the idea that not only maybe this was actually her idea to get this done, but there is clearly she spent a lot of time with Baker to be persuaded by him and to want to be with him in the future. So now that it comes to like take this guy out, take Fabio out of the equation, it's not because she was dissatisfied with him or anything like that. It's just she just did not give a damn about his life at all. Like I just like when he delivered that testimony, it's like I'm sorry, but who, like on top of that, compounded with the fact that she went into the dealership and said that he died in his car. Like, come on, like you. At this point, you really do not care for this guy. I'm really surprised, because now, not only has she been exposed, but at the same time, just completely sliced and diced. I don't know what of it. It's not even sliced and diced. I just think that her real self has come out, because rather than her just get a divorce, like to just think, like I just realized it just now. Tracy Rakovich gave the testimony back on day 8, I think it was, back in week 3, where she showed the amount that she was entitled to with a divorce, a 50-50 amount. And you saw that she was gonna get 100,000, which was significantly. I mean, personally, I don't think it's any more. But a divorce, you still would have got something from it. Like, this is why I stand the prosecution. I shouldn't stand it because they're prosecution. But at least if you're gonna bring a case, this is the bar. I have always said that if you can't clear the Donna Edelson bar, you don't bring the case at all. Don't bother. But this bar, like, yeah, this is the highest bar, because end of the day, by them even showing the comparison between the death and the divorce, like, you can't, it's just heartless. Like, as Trial Channel just put here, it's completely heartless, because she could have just divorced him and still got something and start this new life with Baker, but she just went purely for the money. Thank you so much, Random Girl, for modding today, and thank you so much, Trial for also modding. Make sure that you do hit that like button. Taking the Trial is here. Thank you so much for joining. Also, check out our Trial. Check out her channel. I didn't even realize that you are joined, Sweet Pea. I will actually message you, because there's a couple of trials that I want to cover with you this month. In the months coming. But yeah, Trial Channel says the whole point of that testimony was that Baker and Fabio were in Vegas at the same time as Baker and Austin. Monica came home to LA before Fabio did. That's when she had Baker come to the house. I did not know that. I absolutely did not know that. I did not make that connection. I did not actually make that connection. I was lost. I'm not gonna lie. I was actually lost. I was actually lost into in that testimony. So thank you for that context. I will note that down. Thank you for becoming a member again. Take it to trial. Welcome to the Heinz Condiment Island. Yes, you are modding. You got a spanner next to your name. You are mod now. You are mod now. But anyway, I'll leave it there. Next week, like I said, we shall be going through the rest of his testimony and putting all those testimony back into the timeline that Mitzi established, and then bring Mitzi back on and go through a lot of what we didn't cover in regards to the investigation into Austin. So yeah, that next week is looking like there is a lot we have to get through and then move on to the rest of the testimonies. This trial is 37 days long. We are already in day 22, but I don't think we're gonna finish in December. I really don't. I think we're gonna finish in January before we move on to the next trial that we're gonna cover, which is the Massachusetts versus Christine Ritchie trial. So anyway, I'll just leave it there. I can't wait to see you guys all next week. Thank you for being such great contributors and great tastemakers here. I love coming on every Sunday and hanging out with you guys here. So yeah, I will see you next time, next week. Really, every Sunday we are live. Before I do go, I always forget. Before I forget, if you have any case that you would want me to cover, make sure that you head over to ketchupcourt.info and click on suggest a case. This is where you can put the case, whatever case you want me to do a deep dive on, and try to bring out whatever intricacies in regards to the case. I think what we brought out with this case was the reasons why people would hire somebody to go and kill somebody, and also reasons why someone might go in and cheat, especially with a female spouse, etc., why they cheat and why they would want their husbands killed. We went through all that. I believe in episode 4 and 5 and 6 we went through that in detail. If you want that done with other cases, head over to the site. We also have trial reports on there. If you want to catch up quickly, you cannot watch the whole trial, but you want to see the key parts, I do the trial reports on there where you can get the timestamps and go and check it out from there. Anyway, let's just leave it there. I go by the name of Heinz, your friendly neighborhood ketchup man, and this has been Source on Order. Yeah, I will see you guys next week for another episode. Take care. Have a great evening. Bye for now. Thank you everyone for tuning in for another Ketchup Court live stream. Make sure that you smash that like button as well as hitting that subscribe button to be notified of our future live streams. We go live regularly, bringing you case updates and recaps of ongoing trials, so make sure you hurry back on the next live stream. We also have more content on the channel that you can binge on. Check out the playlist that we have showcasing all of these contents. Without further, I go by the name of Heinz, your friendly neighborhood ketchup man, and I'll see you back in court.